All right, campers. Hi, everyone. um, we're here. Oh my god, I can barely hear it. I know it's happening in the background there. I'll turn that back up a little bit. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Let me turn down the piano music a little bit, maybe. Here we go. How's it hanging? I need you guys to understand something right now. I actually instantly had to crash. My head hurts. So funny you should mention that. I am so fucking brain dead right now. I have been like in a fugue state since I got home from work today, which was a few hours ago, and like I've had dinner, I've eaten and all that, and I've taken some ibuprofen because I had a headache coming on. I got to take some more now because, let me tell you, one thing of ibuprofen is not enough, I guess. If there's one thing I inherited from my mother, it's migraines. Mom, if you're watching, why? Have you tried Advil? I should try Advil. No, I just have some, like, standard, like, CVS brand ibuprofen. So, if this doesn't work, then I'm just gonna power through it. Speaking of powering through things, we're here playing PowerWash Simulator. Wow, look at that. That's a good segue. Anyway, a neurologist recommended that before ibuprofen for me? Oh, okay. I will have to look into it then. But yes. We're here, we're queer, we're gonna be playing some Power Wash. Just gonna get the last minute kind of stuff set up. There we go. Valira, I don't know how to pronounce that. Chronicles 2 just finished installing on my totally legit PS2. Bro, let me tell you, I have so many games on my totally legit PS2 right now. I can actually give you the the full list. I I have everyone's favorite video game, Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity on here, and I definitely have not been playing that a lot lately. I also have Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Tony Hawk's Underground 2, and Rayman Arena. Valkyria? Yeah, okay. You know what? That sounds about right. Anyway, I'm going to turn off the piano music now, and we're going to hop over to the desktop. We're going to make sure everything is working. Hi. Tony Hank. Tony Hanks. Underworld. for the Playbox 2. Anyway. I'm gonna play some fucking Power Wash, dude. I was like, I want to stream tonight. I do not have the brain power to play anything that I have to put like actual thought into. Uh, so we're playing Power Wash. Why did that high sounded like you said it in a different font? It's because I did. There was a part of me that I was like legitimately not sure if I was gonna stream tonight. But I was like, I also want to stream because we're already 3 months into the year and I have so much shit I gotta get done from Melodies. Um, so we're gonna just keep working on it, I suppose. Anyway, here we are at the Viking house. Hello, everyone. Nice stream you got going on. Hi, Pinky. Thank you for popping in the other night, by the way, during the Sonic Festival and just being totally normal about subscriptions. That was really cool of you. Tony Hank Below Earth, professional skateboard operator. He is, in fact, a professional skateboard operator. The fact that that man is still going, by the way, is just wild to me. Oh, that was easy. Yeah, I went a little nuts and then started hitting other streams after that, Pinky. Oh my god. Like, I know that you have a job where you are, like, financially secure. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that. Brother, you gotta take care of yourself, dude. Oh, man. I appreciate everything that you do for us and for the wider community, but, like, man, I do worry about you. I need you to know this. I do worry about you sometimes. Tony Hawk is what Tiger Woods should have been. Oh, I 100% agree. I didn't see any of the footage, but did you guys hear about Tiger Woods' latest escapades? Brother got involved in like a major rollover car crash here in the wonderful, lawless hellscape that is Florida. Right now, I can't afford to pay my bills at the moment. You know, man, I do worry about you, man. I really do. You got to take care of yourself first and foremost. The lawless. Yeah, the lawless. Listen, I'm not going to pretend like Florida is anywhere close to a perfect place. It really isn't. Where's the fun in that? Well, listen, here's my argument for you, Pinky, is if you don't take care of yourself, then who's going to drop 100 fucking gift subs per streamer? Star Wars, the Clone Wars. Listen, I need to go back and rewatch some of the Clone Wars, especially now that Maul Shadow Lord is coming out. I gotta do that. I gotta watch more cool Maul moments. TM. I'll find a way. Yeah, crashing the car, some shit. While so drunk he like fell out of the car or something. That's all I heard. Tony Hawk would never drink alcohol. I don't know that Tony Hawk would never drink alcohol. I know that Tony Hawk wouldn't drink and drive. He'd probably drink and skate. He'd probably be really good at that, actually. I also don't want to make assumptions about Mr. Hawk, so if he shows up in chat today, everything I say is a joke. It's all fictional. It's in the hit PS2 video game Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Um, there we go. I should donate subs so he can pay rent. I mean, if you've got the money for it, I'm not gonna say no. I am gonna be like a little like, hey man, why? But I'm not gonna say no to it. My strategy on this level right now is I'm trying to get the top. There's a fucking gnome on the top of the gun. Who keeps putting these gnomes everywhere? Out of here. Alright. This is incredibly dangerous what I'm doing right here. Standing on a very narrow beam. 20 gifted subs is like 2 hours of work. If I work an extra 8 hours, I can donate 200 subs. You know what? That's some fucking, that's some fucking math right there. Math that I am not in the right headspace to be able to check you on. So, yeah, man, I'll take your word on it. I did this. There we go. Ah, I see where I've gone wrong. Okay. There we go. was actually making it hard for themselves. Next time, remember to withhold the one you would gift to me so you don't suffer because I really do care, worry free. Mm. This is what I'm saying. Like, okay, so I have divine knowledge about Pinky, and I have, um, I do actually know at least a little bit what Pinky does for work. So I'm not like super concerned, but I'm like concerned that you're saying that you're not able to pay rent. That part does scare me a little bit. We're getting close to the end of the month, man. Okay, there we go. You know what? I don't want to say anything quite yet. I think this is going pretty smoothly for me so far. I really can just kind of use the white nozzle here and just get like a lot of this crud off pretty quickly. My next check is on the 1st, so all is good on my end. Just need to hold out until then. Okay. As long as you've got it figured out, I'm just worried, man. So, how about them Gators? You saw they're beating Arkansas. I'll take your word on it. I don't follow college football. um, I'm very much not a sports girly. I'm really not. Despite the best efforts of my extended family, I did go to a lot of Gators games when I was a kid. Not of my own volition. I did not ask to go. They were just like, "Hey, we're gonna go, and you're coming along with us." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Because I was a kid, and there wasn't really anything I could say or do to like get out of it. Wait, there's two Gators? Yeah, there's the. I'm talking about baseball. Oh my God, no! I was talking about the Florida Gators. They're the college football team from the University of Florida. I don't know of any other Gators. I mean, I'm sure they have a baseball team. Don't get me wrong, but like, are you talking like MLB, like major leagues? Because I don't follow that shit either. Oh, Florida State, my bad. Baseball season just started, and since all of my family watches the MLB like it's a life dependency, I watched a Florida baseball game. Okay. Hmm. I'll take your word on it. Because I don't follow any of that. I just know what teams there are. Mostly because, like I said, I was forced to go to college football games when I was a kid. Yeah, down here in Florida, we have like two major colleges when it comes to football, and then we have like a couple other schools here and there that also have their teams, but nobody cares about them. So we have the Florida Gators and then the Florida State Seminoles. Um, uh, Florida Gators are from the University of Florida, which is in Gainesville, and then Florida State is in Tallahassee, I think, is the state capital. And that's the name of their team is the Seminoles. Um, and they've got a pretty big rivalry going. But then we also have the University of Central Florida, which is out here near Orlando. And I think they're the Knights, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's also USF, I think, University of South Florida. But I could not tell you anything about them. Florida sports exist sometimes. Florida sports exist as a nebulous thing in my mind. That like I'm aware that they happen, and I just don't follow any of it. The last player from the University of Florida that I could name offhand is Tim Tebow, and he played like a full 20 years ago. I think he won the Heisman Trophy in 2007. So it was like actually straight up 20 years ago since this guy played, and he's the only one I could name offhand. I know very little about college sports because I didn't like anyone who liked college sports. That's fair. I knew too many people who like college sports, and I just was not into it. Most of them I was related to. I always liked video games better. I'm sure that's not surprising to anyone here, given the fact that we are all on twitch.tv right at the moment. Getting that ladder back. Doing some hardcore parkour tonight. There we go. Tim Tebow was my deceased grandparents' favorite player, but I couldn't be bothered to like sports. That's kind of how I feel about it, where it's like I know Tim Tebow was like a really beloved sports guy. I like if I'm not mistaken, like he had it pretty rough after he left college. Like I remember hearing a lot about him and people being like, "Damn, he's not doing as well as in the NFL as he did in college." I always kind of felt bad for him because of that. I think he went on to do like sports casting, like ESPN type shit. I enjoy basketball to a certain degree. You guys have the Heats and the Magic. I couldn't name a single player. Yeah, I know nothing about any team out here. The Orlando Magic is like my local team basically, and I know fuck all about them. I think I went to a Magic game once when I was like 5 years old. I remember nothing about it. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was no, Magic Johnson was a player. The we actually have a team, like a full team back here in Orlando called the Magic. I think they're called the Magic because they were originally like a team sponsored by Disney, kind of like the Mighty Ducks out in Anaheim for hockey, which by the way is a real team, and I think they only made the team because they had made the movie The Mighty Ducks. The team used to be called the Wizards, but the Florida Wizards didn't sit well. Yeah. Yeah, so they changed it to the Orlando Magic. The team in my hometown used to be the second best in the country. Hell yeah. I I remember my parents really really tried to get me into sports when I was a little kid. So I did like, you know, baseball and soccer and like they tried to get me into a bunch of different things, and I just did not sit with any of them. They tried soccer a couple of times with me because my mom's really into soccer, and I'm happy for her. Um, she's really into it. She watches every Manchester United game, you know, and it's just not something I ever got into. And I think by the time I was in middle school, they realized that I just was not getting into sports at all, and that's when they stopped forcing me to do it over the summer. I think what didn't help is I also moved a lot as a kid, and so I didn't really get like a group of people that I consistently played with. That probably didn't help. Hello! Thank you for following Pixie Destruction. Welcome in. We're playing PowerWash Simulator, and we're discussing my traumatic memories to do with sports. So I hope you're prepared for that. Um, um, gonna be lurking. Hope stream goes well. Thank you for lurking, Artie. I appreciate it. I still enjoy having baseball on because it's entertaining to just have on in the background. I get like the appeal of like having sports on in the background as like background noise. I do get that because like I do that, but I don't do it with sports. I do it with like just like random YouTube videos. I have a really bad habit of like falling asleep with YouTube on my Roku TV. Um, Something I'm gonna need to get out of the habit of at some point. I don't have any passion for sports either, but my dad had me in football for all 4 years of high school. That sucks. That straight up sucks. I'm so sorry. No, being in marching band in my freshman year of high school was the closest I ever got into doing high school sports, and by God, I quit that shit as soon as I could. Same going from South Carolina to Pennsylvania fried my perception of sports because down south sports is huge, like it's life, but in Pennsylvania you have like a cult. Oh, dude, I've seen videos of like Philadelphia after like an Eagles game, and that shit is ridiculous. It's like that one like shot from the Clone Wars where like Obi-Wan opens up the garage door and there's like Mandalorians flying around and lasers flying everywhere. That's what Pennsylvania, or not Pennsylvania, but that's what like Philadelphia looks like to me after any like given Eagles game. I was gifted a sub, so I thought to look at you live, and I like the vibe. Thank you. Yeah, you can thank Pinky Ryu for that. Pinky, who the other night gifted, like, between me and my other two friends who were also live doing Sonic Racing the other night, like, Pinky dropped, like, what, 300 gift subs, I think, total? It was insane. I hope that man has enough to eat. The Eagles ruined it, okay? The Phillies, perfectly normal crowd. We love the Phillies. The 76ers, we love the 76ers, even if they can't actually win a game for their life. But the Eagles, they're culture, culture death in Pennsylvania. It's so funny too because like you can like if you see anyone wearing like an Eagles jersey and you say the phrase "Go Birds," they go crazy. I'm speaking from experience. As most of you know, I work at a place where I encounter a lot of people from a lot of different places, and it's like every time without fail, if someone is from Pennsylvania and they are wearing an Eagles jersey, I purposefully avoid the phrase "Go Birds." I'm gonna get the roof. I'm gonna get the rest of this roof down. It's gonna happen. Here we go. Go Birds or Ring the Bell is a sleeper activation cell in Pennsylvania. It turns you into a raging lunatic who will fight a Cowboys or a Saints fan on the spot. Ah, man, I'm, and this is another reason why I'm glad I'm not into sports is because like, man, I don't want to pick sides. I don't want to pick a team and stick with them. Like, I just want to enjoy the funny sport game. I fell all the way down. Um, what if I get this from up here? I'm a Mariners fan in a household of Phillies and Yankees fans. Yeah. Um, That's the other thing too, is what if I end up liking a team that like nobody else in my family likes, right? Like I mentioned, a lot of my family are fans of the Gators. So what if I ended up being a Seminoles fan? Come on now. I mean, I wouldn't because I don't care. But like, what if the only sport teams I know are Cowboys and Green Bay Packers? Mm. I'm like my mom's a big fan of soccer specifically, and her favorite team is Manchester United out in England. Um, Manchester United, a team that famously has not done great in the past couple decades. So that's always fun. So it's like that. It's like I don't want to let myself down by being a fan of a specific team and then like watching them fall from grace. I think is like my biggest not fear, but like my biggest apprehension, I guess, when it comes to sports. Now, the one sport that I will tune into if I have the opportunity to, because I forgot to tune in this year, is curling. I do like curling. I think curling's a fun, because it's like a weird fucking game. I don't know. I like weird sports, I guess. How dare you not like the Florida shitfuckers? We are shitfucker United fans here. Uh, Manchester last went undefeated in 2013. To be fair, yeah. Now here's the question though, Jimmy. Are you looking at the stats for Manchester United or Manchester City? Because those are two different teams, um, and they have a pretty big rivalry too. Like it's like a deep seated rivalry. United, I fucking hate Manchester City. Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you're on our side, Jimmy. Oh, this is stuff that I can't say with a straight face. I really can't. I know there's some spots in here that haven't been. Us United fans stick together. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so glad you agree. Okay, there we go. It's like, where else is this dirt? I did when I was a kid, and I would hang out at my cousin's place, every so often. They had an Xbox, which I did not have as a kid, and I still don't have. But one of the games they had on it was like one of the Madden games. I could not tell you which one offhand, because they're all the same fucking video game. But like that is a thing that we would do. Is we would just sit down and we would play Madden, and I would suck shit at it because I don't play those kinds of games. Turnip, I just had to do my 30 hours of OSHA certification to be moved into a different position within my company. Watching you just scale these buildings with no equipment is soul crushing. Yeah, I'm sorry this is causing you physical pain. But this is just how PowerWash Sim be. Okay, got the overhang there. What about this wall? What am I missing on the wall? I'm probably missing like the little spots on the side here. What? That is exactly what I'm missing. Look at that. Hey, hey. There we go. I'm gonna get the ledge there, and then I think we have to come under here to get the rest of it. And then on the side, maybe? Oh, it's all one piece. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Who... Oh, I missed some dirt on it. There we go. Okay, cool. It's like, where? Where did I miss? Well, speaking of 30 hours of OSHA, dude, I'm convinced human beings are inherently stupid. Because what do you mean I had to watch a 1 hour long video on how not to mess up attaching a belt? Mm. Um, no, without getting too much into the details, like um one of the things that we prioritize at my job is safety over everything else. Um, because like yeah, there's going to be a lot of instances of people who just simply don't know how things work around here, and like you have to tell them not to do things, right? My favorite example is anytime I have to tell a kid to stop climbing on the rocks because if they fall and get hurt, that's going to be on them. It's not necessarily going to be on us. Um, so that's always fun. Or just today, like there's one little area where we have like a set of stairs leading into an area that kind of looks like not many people go in there, but like in reality, a lot of people go through that area. And so I was like, guys, you can't sit on the stairs. Please get off. Oh, dude, I also started climbing on the rocks in the middle of that big circle area. Listen, Jimmy, I want you to know you cannot have the high ground, all right? That's Obi-Wan's deal. And yes, I do make that joke at work a lot. And not everyone gets it, which makes me infinitely sad. Or the other fun thing is like everyone's first instinct when I hand them one of the lightsabers too is for them to look down the barrel of the lightsaber, and every single time I'm like, man, and you guys wonder why we're never gonna get the ones that like actually like you know come out like they do in the movies, where the blades like fully extend out. People always ask us about that all the time, and we're like, no, too many people look down the lightsaber. we it would be a liability on us at that point. My little cousin went headfirst down when he got his, and I legit grabbed his head like rule one of weapons safety dipstick. Yeah, no, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with it. You can't just be like Luke in A New Hope and immediately look down the fucking lightsaber as if that shit's not gonna like go straight through your eye, dude. part. The nice decoration there. We got one door. There we go. We got two doors. Hello. No, it's always I don't know, fun, I guess, to get to tell people to not be stupid about things. I don't know. But like it's something that I have to do a lot is just tell people, "Hey, we can't do this because it's not safe." And most of the time people are understanding. Most of the time they're like, "Oh, what, yeah, that makes sense, whatever." Every now and then I get someone who gets a little upset with me, and I'm like, "Okay, man, if you want to, you know, you want to put yourself at risk, that's not my problem. I told you, so I've done my job. If you get hurt from here on out, that's your fault." Of course, I don't say any of that out loud because I'm not allowed to, but like I'm definitely thinking it. I plan to kidnap Sid Cousin and make my trip back to Florida because I've acquired another reason to go to Florida. Alligator wrestling. Hell yeah, dude, you got to go to Gatorland in the Orlando Kissimmee area. It is so much fun. It's one of those like weird little tourist attractions that's kind of off the beaten path. Because everyone comes down to Florida, they want to go to Disney, they want to go to Universal, they might want to go to like SeaWorld or Legoland, like whatever, Busch Gardens, the big theme parks, but like I think a lot of people miss out when they don't go to like the smaller sort of regional attractions too, like Gatorland or Weeki Wachee, um, because you're missing out on like pre-Disney Florida at that point. Gatorland is my fucking dream. Now I want to see the Gators. Yeah, go see the Gators at Gatorland. Go to see the mermaids at Weeki Wachee, and then report back to me. It's been forever since I've been to Weeki Wachee. I kind of want to go again, actually. One of my favorite kind of like relatively obscure places in Florida is a place called the Gamble Place Historic District. It's in Port Orange, Florida, which is near Daytona. Um, and it is like the site of an old mine, I think, something along those lines. But the guy that lived there in the 1930s um, was really, really into Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because Disney had just released that movie. And keep in mind, this is like the first animated feature film ever, right? And so this guy became like obsessed with this movie and designed his whole house to look like the dwarves' cottage from the film. It's really, really neat. It's like basically like pre-Disney in Florida. It's really, really cool. Completely unaffiliated with the company or anything, but it's like a historic landmark. Um, in the local area. It's really neat. I'm also gonna go to SeaWorld just because I'm still like a massive animal fan, and I heard the animal treatment has gotten a lot better. Um, yeah, SeaWorld for me is kind of a no-go park, which sucks because I used to go to it a lot back before I learned about all of the, animal treatment nonsense. Um, Back when I was like 6 years old and had no concept of the fact that people could treat these animals poorly. You know, um, I didn't even know that that was a possibility. Um, I miss it. I miss that age, dude. um, but yeah, no, I used to go all the time because it was like the one theme park that we could afford to go to at the time. And I remember liking it when I was a kid because they had like more to do for people who didn't really like roller coasters or anything. Now it's pretty much oops all roller coasters and like Sesame Street Land, which I kind of vibe with Sesame Street Land. I do like that one, but like I don't know, the rest of the park I could take it or leave it at this point because there's just not a lot to do for people who don't ride roller coasters, which is me. I don't ride roller coasters despite working at a theme park. You know, I don't ride many roller coasters. I should clarify this. I don't ride the kind of roller coasters that they have at SeaWorld. You know, my limit for riding coasters is the Tron ride at Magic Kingdom. Um, that's about as intense as I can handle. So there's not really a whole ton for me personally at SeaWorld outside of Sesame Street Land, like I said, which is great and I love it. Back before I met my girlfriend, when I actually still had like profiles on a lot of those dating apps, one of my pictures was just me in front of 123 Sesame Street at SeaWorld because I thought it was funny. And I was like, if anybody gets this, then that's fine by me. Oh, I think the only theme park around here, the only major theme park, I suppose, that I haven't been to ever is, at least here in Florida, is Busch Gardens. Um, just never been. Not out of lack of interest or anything. I just don't really have the time or money to just go to Tampa. Okay, I'm having like a major malfunction. What's your malfunction? I gotta know. Ooh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Let me get this one down. All right. When I was little, I went to Legoland and SeaWorld, but I swear I did not go to the Florida. So the question is the SeaWorld in Florida the one with the Arctic expedition thing? I vividly remember you enter a black room, get into a helicopter that plays like a very Arctic kind of Coast Guardy themed ride. Then you enter the coolest showroom I ever saw, and I just don't remember. So that one did exist in SeaWorld Orlando. I think it was also at SeaWorld San Diego. I'm pretty sure it was also at SeaWorld San Diego. I cannot confirm or deny that right off the bat, but I do know what you're talking about, and that ride did exist at SeaWorld Orlando. Now, the last time I went, the ride was not, operating, and it was basically just the Arctic exhibit, because they had like basically just come back up from like COVID, like stuff, and so like they were still kind of operating under those kind of stricter guidelines. I don't know if it ever started operating again because I have not gone since. Fuck, I think I went to San Diego then. Just I gotta ask my mom because that was the fucking coolest thing ever because there was penguins and shit. Yeah, dude, listen, Wild Arctic was my favorite thing to do at SeaWorld Orlando. I love that shit, and that's part of why I was so disappointed the last time I went is because it wasn't operating. It was that and the penguin ride. I really liked both of those things, and just neither of them were operating, so it was only the exhibits with the animals, which were still cool. Don't get me wrong. Quite literally, they were cool because they have to keep those buildings absolutely frigid inside to keep the animals nice and comfortable. But like, they were really cool. They were like a ride experience, and then you got to see some cool animals afterwards. It was neat. And so yeah, I'm mad. I'm mad that it wasn't operating. And like I said, the only thing I enjoyed about the last time I went to SeaWorld was the fucking Sesame Street land, which is a little sad for a place called SeaWorld. Anyway, I'm gonna look it up actually. Hold on. Wild Arctic, I know was the name of the ride. Okay, yeah, it was at SeaWorld San Diego, according to Wikipedia. Just remember the lady said I could dip my finger in the water, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's warmer than the temperature outside." And then she started explaining to me, and I was enamored. That's great. Yeah. See, this is the beauty of parks like that, where it's something cool and entertaining, but then you also like learn something at the end of the day. It's what I really liked about Epcot the first time I went, because I'm a fucking huge dork and I like learning new things. And Epcot, at least when I was a kid, had a lot of that, where it was like you could learn about science and technology and world cultures and everything. They still have a little bit of that at Epcot, and I still love that park to death, but like it's definitely downplayed a lot now compared to how it was when I was a kid. And even then, that was downplayed to how it was when it first opened, you know? But I really do think parks like that are a really cool teaching tool, for kids because, like, it gets them excited to learn about things. And I think that's neat. Epcot didn't have anything when I went other than Crush the Turtle. Listen, Crush the Turtle is so much fun. Uh, that show is always great, no matter when you go. Um, but like, I remember the first time I went on Spaceship Earth. I was 9 years old. It was my ninth birthday, like quite literally was my ninth birthday. And my mom was very pregnant with my little brother at the time. Um, and I was scared to go on Spaceship Earth because I didn't know what kind of ride it was. I thought it was going to be a roller coaster or something. And my mom got on the ride with me, and she was like, "Listen, if they're letting me on, you'll be fine." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And I like what Spaceship Earth is like a history lesson basically about, you know, forms of communication and how it's, communication technologies and how they've evolved over time. And it's brilliant. It's really well done. Um and like I was just so enamored with it. Like I had been to theme parks before, but I think that really solidified my love for theme parks. Was that first time I got to go on Spaceship Earth. Right, I found a video and the little person in me is crying, tiny me. Oh, yeah, man. I want more edutainment stuff. I want people to be excited about learning new things. I I had a moment with a guest recently where, like, of course I've got to stay in character and all that. And she was saying she's not like a big fan of Star Wars or anything, and so she's like, I don't know, I'm too old for this. I said, you're never too old to. It's like the way I phrased it was like, you're never too old to stop learning new things. Because I was trying to play it off as I was like teaching her galactic history, is the way I was like trying to frame it. But I do genuinely believe that, like you're never too old to learn new things. You're never too old to have new experiences. Dude, do you know why? Oh, because okay, do you remember the Lego Arctic sets? They came out the same time I went. I don't. I don't actually remember that one. I remember the Super Spy or like the Secret Agent sets. I really wanted to get some of those ones. That must have been around that time, right? Like around then, or like maybe when Lego Atlantis was a thing. I don't know. after this. Ah. What am I missing on this except like tiny little splotches? Ah. Oh, this is part of it. That makes more sense. There we go. Okay, there we go. Ah! Oh, that's not doing nearly as much damage as I would like. Okay. I had this Lego set, and I'll send the name if you ever want to look it up. It's Lego City Arctic Base Camp set. Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, because I thought you meant like Arctic is like a theme. If it's under Lego City, I think I do know what you're talking about. Yeah. But the thing about it is that I remember building it and a few others, and then going to like a theme park based around animals, and it was, other than the moment I stepped through the Jurassic Park gates, probably the only time I cried with joy. Dude, let me tell you, I had the same reaction to the Jurassic Park gates the first time I got to see them. I thought it was so cool at Islands of Adventure. Um, that and when my girlfriend and I went to Epic Universe, and we went up the big green Mario pipe, and we came out through Peach's castle. I was grinning ear to ear, dude. You have no idea. Oh man, I it was just one of those moments. It was like, oh, I'm home. I had the moment too. The same time the very first time I ever went to Galaxy's Edge. Look at me now. I go there almost every day. um, because there's something about that, right? Like something about stepping into, a world that grew up hearing about, I suppose. Now you finally get to live it. It's neat. There's a picture of me stepping through the Jurassic Park gates, and my cousin and grandpa and mom were behind me. I just remember staring up at it with tears in my eyes. If I ever make a dating profile, that's the picture I'm choosing. That's the day before I met you. Yeah, no, that's right, because I knew you were sort of around, and I was kind of joking about like, oh well, if you're heading to Hollywood. I think I specifically went into the park that day. I was off because I was like, no, it would be really funny though. Oh man. Yeah, no, it's something. I think I there's a part of me that's so mad that like theme park tickets are as expensive as they are, because I do think that more people should be able to experience like that feeling of joy, that feeling of being like, oh, I'm home, kind of vibes. Now there's another part of me that's like, I kind of get why theme park tickets are so expensive, and it's because just the sheer cost of operating them is fucking insane. I'm speaking as someone who works at one. I understand how, like, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know just about how much money goes into making the whole thing work. So I kind of get it, but like, no, I do wish more people had the opportunity to experience that. I consider myself extremely lucky that I have the option to even go to these parks at all, you know? the map in the pre-entry room for the Jurassic Park River ride with that huge dome with the island map on it and the little red markers. Yeah. Oh God. So, you know what the worst part is like I never have actually done either of the rides at the Jurassic Park area in Islands of Adventure, but I love the way that that land is themed. Um, and again, part of that is I just don't do roller coasters, and Velocicoaster fucking scares me half to death. But like, I never got around to doing the River Rapids ride. Um, and it's mostly just because I never dressed for a water ride. I always kept forgetting that, like, oh, right, there are going to be water rides at this park. Um, I just didn't think about it. But, like, I love the way that that land is themed. I love being able to go into the Discovery Center and just being like, yeah, man, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Nah, dude, the river ride has one of my fondest memories in the past 18 years of my life. I I will say like I've seen ride-throughs of it, so I like know basically what happens in it, right? Um, and it's a very sweet thing for me, in that when I was really little in my like dinosaur phase as a kid, as most kids have, it's like you either have a dinosaur phase or like you have like a phase with something else. I definitely had a dinosaur phase, and my mom was very sweet about that, and catered to my interests quite a bit. And so she had a favorite dinosaur too. And her favorite dinosaur was the Parasaurolophus. And I was always very proud of myself that I could pronounce Parasaurolophus. Because as a kid, it's a hard word to pronounce. Um, so it's like watching the ride through and seeing like, oh, we go through Hadrosaur Cove, and he's like, oh, it's the Parasaurolophus. There it is. And then my favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops. Um, when I first started working at Universal, it was around the time they had put up that little pop-up Jurassic World shop in studios, and they had the animatronic Triceratops head, I think from the movie, in that shop, which was really cool. So I would always joke that that was my son. Basically, my little cousin was in front of my grandpa when it ducked. My little cousin ducked, but my grandpa didn't move a muscle. He just fucking ate the entire wave and it just his face. Oh man, God, what a legend, honestly. Hmm. There we go. That one's good to go. I think my favorite memory that I've ever had at any theme park was the first time I took my mom onto the Millennium Falcon ride, and like she's not as big a Star Wars fan as I am, but she likes the original trilogy at least, and we managed to get the pilot position on that ride. And so I was like, all right, mom, I want you specifically to be right pilot because I've done that position before and it's my favorite spot to be in, but I want you to do it. And just I will never forget the look on her face when she got to pull down on the hyperspace lever. Like she was like a kid in a candy shop. It was great. Oh, she was laughing hysterically when she got to do it. It was so much fun. My other favorite memory of going to a theme park is when I took my good friend Devon from the hit Twitch channel Real Deal Danger. Um, uh, I actually hadn't gotten a job at Disney yet by that point. Um, it was one of our friends from high school that had started working there, and he got us in. And so we were talking to him. It was his first time at the Magic Kingdom. He had never been to Disney before, and we were like, guys, we got to go on Haunted Mansion. It's such a good ride. I love the Haunted Mansion. That kind of thing. And so we were like hyping this ride up, and he's like, guys, I don't believe you. I don't think this ride's gonna be that good. And he came off of that ride like, holy shit, guys, you were right. But my favorite thing about that was right before you go in, there's like a gravestone just outside the front entrance to the ride that like will open up its eyes and take a look around, and then it'll close its eyes again. And we kept trying to gaslight him into thinking it doesn't do that. So anytime he saw it, he was like, guys, no, it just opened its eyes. And we're like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. It's just a gravestone, dude. Don't you also have an ET story from him? Yes, I do. It was the first time he'd been to Universal, and it was the same kind of thing. I think this is the reason he had that reaction with the Haunted Mansion, is because we did the same thing with ET, and he had not only never been to Universal before and never been on that ride, he had also never seen ET up to that point and didn't know what to expect. And to be fair, the second half of that ride is not based on the movie at all. The second half of that ride is a fucking fever dream. Um, but like he came off of that ride like looking like he was fucking traumatized by Steven Spielberg himself, man. It was the funniest thing. Oh man. We did the Donald Duck ride, the like super water one, because we were already wet, obviously from the river ride, and my mom kept creating the raft over my head by yanking the turn wheel. Just kept yelling, "This one's for you." Wait, no. Oh, are you talking about the Popeye ride in Toon Lagoon? I've never been on that one either, but I have been standing ready at the water guns before, ready to spray people with them. The ET ride was the weirdest thing I've done. I fucking loved it. Yeah, dude, the ET ride is so weird. I still think it's a better version of the Peter Pan ride at Magic Kingdom. Um, like they're very similar in like ride system and like story and that kind of thing. Um, I do think ET needs a little bit of love. That ride has not been maintained very well. I think they should fix up all the animatronics and everything. But like, it's a weird, wonderful ride. Popeyes, yeah, it had a cool ride area. Yeah, Toon Lagoon is such a weird area, right? I think they're closing it soon. Actually, is the last rumor that I heard. Because it's kind of a weird area, right? It's like based on comic strips and comic characters that like not a lot of kids today have ever heard of. Toon Lagoon is the only reason I even fucking know who Dudley Do Right is. You know, um, like they've got ones that people know well. Like Popeye, Betty Boop, that kind of thing. But like then you get like some of the weird characters. Like they got fucking Kathy, and Heathcliff, and Asterisk and Obelix. And I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. That land is the only reason I know who any of those characters are. What's the big tree in the middle of Disney World? Oh, the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom. Is that the one you're thinking of? Or is it the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse in Magic Kingdom? Because that one's another similar one where it's like that's the reason I know what the Swiss Family Robinson is because of the treehouse at Magic Kingdom. The one you climb in the Swiss Family Robinson one, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's just like a movie that they made in the 50s. Um, but I grew up in Central Florida, so of course, like I've heard of the tree house before I ever heard of the movie. It's a neat little walk around attraction. Like it's a fun thing to do when you're like when you've got nothing else to do. Um, I do think it's past its prime, just in the sense that not many kids today have heard of the Swiss Family Robinson, and I don't think they're like super interested in it. It's definitely something my mom and aunt were cool to see since they love that movie. Yeah. Like, I think it has its place. I just also, like, if they got rid of it, I wouldn't be as upset about it as I was over Muppet Vision. I'm still mad about that one. I mean, it is a lot of space that could be turned into something cool. It's a big ass tree. Yeah. The like you could do something with it. I don't know what you would do with it. I know Disneyland, the one in California, they rethemed theirs. I think in the like early 2000s, they rethemed theirs to Tarzan. So it's not based on the Swiss Family Robinson anymore over there. It's Tarzan's treehouse or whatever. Um, which I'm surprised they did that at Disneyland's treehouse and not the one at Disney World. You would think the one at Disney World would be the bigger priority, capture as much of the international market as you can. But like, I don't know. What do I know? That just always felt like a weird decision to me that they were going to be like, oh yeah, the one at Disneyland is going to be Tarzan now. Fuck you guys in Florida, I guess. I want to go back to Avatar 2. Fuck, that world was so cool the entire time. And the only thing on my mind was, god damn, that my feet feel like 80 bajillion needles. Yeah, I get that. The more you walk around those parks, the more you get used to it. I'm letting you know right now. I promise it does get better. But yeah, no. Pandora is really, really well done, especially at night. Oh my god, Pandora is so pretty at night. Because they have like LED lights and everything, so it looks, so like it's their way of doing like the bioluminescence that all the plants and animals have in the Avatar movies. And so like, God, it's just so colorful at night. It's like, lots of pinks and greens and blues and purples. It's really, really cool. Um, they do a little bit of that with Galaxy's Edge too, where the spires will light up at night. But I think the way they did it in Pandora is just, top tier. I have a picture of the Star Wars realm at night, and it's low poly and rushed on a cracked phone, and it's just God the Rocks glowing blue against the night lights while the buildings sit high. Yeah, no, it is pretty. Don't get me wrong. I love the way the spires look at night, but like, man, just I think Pandora kind of set the bar for that, right? Because like a lot of other lands at like different theme parks, they'll look good at night. Don't get me wrong. Um, God, fucking Dark Universe at Epic Universe is just the fucking coolest at night. Like they get the fog rolling in, and you really like feel the vibes of Darkmoor. It's so cool. Um, I absolutely recommend, like, if you're going to Epic Universe anytime soon, stick around until it gets dark out and then go into the fucking Dark Universe area. Because, like, that shit is, like, the vibes are immaculate. Um, like, all the other lands look pretty good at night, too. Don't get me wrong. Like, Super Mario looks pretty good at night, and Burke is really neat. But, like, man, Darkmoor is just on some other fucking shit. Oh, dear. Uh, I will say though, one of my favorite little details about Galaxy's Edge specifically is when you go on Rise of Resistance. You know, you get on the little shuttle at first, like right before you actually get onto the ride proper, you go on the little shuttle, and oh no, you're getting captured by a star destroyer, kind of thing. But they have it set up so that like when it starts to get darker out, they actually swap out the video inside the shuttle so it reflects what time of day it is outside. It's just a neat little attention to detail thing. I want to see the Harry Potter area. Hate me, I know I grew up with those books and movies. I heard Diagon Alley is cool at night. Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade are both really cool at night. They do have like a light show sometimes in Hogsmeade. Um, this is where my conflict of interest lies in that like I don't like Harry Potter. I fucking hate Harry Potter. I hate J.K. Rowling. She's a piece of shit scumbag, right? Who absolutely does not deserve the attention that everyone fucking gives her, you know. But like those areas at the Universal Parks, the Harry Potter areas, are really, really well themed. Like they are really well done. I'm not gonna deny you know, the level of effort that went into those lands. I know you personally don't like Harry Potter. Yes, I get it. I'm not gonna argue with you since I agree. But to me, stepping into Diagon Alley with my mom, oh my god, the way she'd just glue. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The first time I went to Hogsmeade was before J.K. Rowling turned out to be a huge piece of shit, and I was into the books and movies, right? So, like, yeah, I do have very fond memories of getting to go to Hogsmeade, like, shortly after it opened. And yeah, it was neat at the time. And like I said, I'm not gonna deny the fucking talent of the people that worked on that land. Like that that I think is undisputable. I just wish it wasn't Harry Potter. Now, if it were up to me, what I would do is I would take out the Harry Potter area and I would put in the Lord of the Rings because the Lord of the Rings is a good book series and a good movie series, and also Tolkien never said anything about trans people, so I can headcanon that he was pro trans rights, even if he really wouldn't have been. He can't say shit at this point to defend himself, so I did hear that Universal's opening up a park in the UK and that Lord of the Rings is going to be a land out there. And man, I'm kind of jealous that they get a Lord of the Rings land and we got a third fucking Potter land in Epic Universe. It's my least favorite part of that park. First of all, because there's fuck all to do in Ministry, but like there's like the one ride and like a show, and the rest of it is shops. At least with Galaxy's Edge, it's two rides a show, and the rest of it is mostly shops. But at least our shops have cool merch that's like in universe stuff and not merch that you can get anywhere else at two other lands at the same park. What was that scene from? I think it was Avengers where Captain America goes, "Yeah, I read The Hobbit when it came out in 1939." Yeah, that was in Winter Soldier, and it was specifically Bucky that said that. And what I really like about that scene is the implication that like Bucky is a huge fucking dork because I don't think The Hobbit was published in America in 1939, which means he had to have gotten it shipped from the UK, which means that he probably he probably just really liked fantasy books. Especially because The Hobbit also wasn't that big of a success when it first came out. So I love the implication of that scene being that Bucky's a huge fucking dork. what's the Winter Soldier? No, it was in Civil War, but it was like you know what I mean. The implication being that Bucky is a huge dork. I don't know. I just love it. I'd like to think that because he's in the military before the war, he was in the UK station abroad and did some light reading. I could believe that. I could believe that. I've also read The Hobbit, and like, hey, if you have nothing better to read or nothing better to do in 1939, like, I get it. I'm not saying I dislike that book. I'm saying that like Tolkien's writing is absolutely not my jam. I like struggled through The Hobbit the first time I read it, and the second time I read it, because I have read that book multiple times. I could not get through Fellowship. Fellowship is too tough for me. I have too much ADHD for Tolkien's style of writing, which is why I really like the movies, because at least I get to know the story of Lord of the Rings without having to actually read the damn things. If you're a bored white guy in London in 1939, I'd also read The Hobbit. Yeah. Listen, I mean, this is the thing is, I joke around about like, oh, Tolkien's writing style isn't for me. It is a good book. Like, The Hobbit is a good book. It's a shame what happened to the movies. I'll take I like the Hobbit movies, and you are entitled to your opinion, and there's nothing I can do to take that away from you. I really don't like. I think An Unexpected Journey is fine. It's a fine movie, but then you get into Desolation of Smaug, and like it's I don't know. I don't really like that one that much. And then just I never even fucking bothered with Battle of the Five Armies, like mostly because like the Battle of the Five Armies in the book basically happens entirely off screen because Bilbo, our POV character, is knocked out for the entirety of it. He is fully unconscious. I don't know. I just think it was a little silly for them to be like, no, we're gonna make this three movies actually, and we're gonna take the one part of the book that is like basically non-existent, and we're gonna make that into a whole movie. That is comedic gold too, to me, because imagine if he was in the war, he'd just fucking die. Yeah. No, he got off lucky with that one. He really did. Eh. Oh my god, dude. There we go. That's like having a tummy ache the night before D-Day. You dodged a massive bullet. Yeah. Actually, I can't go. I can't go forward with Operation Fortitude. You see, I had a little bit too much. Whatever the 1940s equivalent of Chipotle is, or whatever, Taco Bell, I guess. Yeah. Just like, I have a tummy ache. Spam and eggs. Yeah, you're right. It would have been spam and eggs. Let me get there. There we go. Oh man. No, I'm forever gonna be upset about the Hobbit movies. I do want to watch War of the Rohirrim, mostly because I haven't heard anything about it, and part of me is like, oh well, if nobody's talking about it, then it was either like a perfectly mid movie or like truly nobody watched it, and I don't know which. I don't know which one, and I'm kind of curious to see. I also just think there should be more 2D animated movies out there, and animation that isn't explicitly for kids. So, yeah, I do need to watch War of the Rohirrim at some point. Was that the animated one that came out? Yes, it was. I want to see a full adaptation of the Silmarillion. I think that would be really, really funny. Trying to explain to everyone Melkor, who was Morgoth or whatever, Morgoth, who was Melkor, who, you know, didn't vibe with Eru Iluvatar. I want to get real deep into the lore here. Lord of the Rings is just vibes-based politics. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like it's definitely a monarchy. I mean, Aragorn, son of Arathorn, becomes the rightful king of men, at the end. He is the king that has returned, so to speak. Which I think that's another really really funny thing about Lord of the Rings is like Frodo is like the POV character, but like Sam is the real hero of the story, and B, uh, the third book is just uh, titled "Here's Why Aragorn's Cool." The book TM. Um, King of Men is what they called me in high school. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, no, I believe that Sam is the real hero of the Lord of the Rings because Frodo never would have made it to Mount Doom if it weren't for Sam. Like Frodo tries to go on his own, and there it like there are several moments where they very clearly show like, hey, Frodo would not have made it this far if not for Sam, and I think that's neat. I think I think those two are great characters. That's right, baby. I'm using that bit again because I have exactly two jokes I recycle. Called me in high school and did that in college. Hey, listen, if they work, right? Why make new jokes? I recycle my material all the time, mostly because my audience are people that I've never met before, and so I can get away with it. Ah. Hmm. Oh, okay. Not where I wanted to put that. There we go. I remember Cal made did this in college joke, and I went, "You stole my joke," and his answer was, "I was making this joke before you were a fetus, Jimmy." I do believe that he said that. That is something that Cal would say. I'm pretty sure I was there when he said it, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's the figureheads done. I do one of the pedestals? I missed a pedestal, I guess. I missed that one. What did I miss on it? Oh, quite a bit, actually. Okay, and roof ridges. It's that one up there. Okay, cool. Ah, I see where I went wrong here. Come on. There we go. Hey! Alright, take a look. See, I tried to do this somewhat properly where you start from the top and then go down. There we go. Uh, you should do a tier list for defunct rides and lands in the Disney and Universal parks. I think that'd be fun for the crew. You know what, actually? I'll add it to the list. Alright. That would be a fun one to do. I'm going to put Muppet Vision 3D at the very top of it because I'm still mad about that one. How much can I get away with this? Basically not at all. Okay, cool. Add a whole new category for Muppet Vision. Yeah, that's going to be our triple S tier, is Muppet Vision 3D. What did Muppet Vision 3D get replaced with? So Muppet Vision closed in May of last year. God, it's been almost a year. I can't believe this. It is currently under construction, but it is being replaced with a land themed to Monsters Incorporated. They took out the Muppets and they're putting in the monsters. And I'm not salty about it. I'm not. Don't tell anyone. I'm not salty about it. Mel, what the name of that game where you link the actors and movies? Oh, Connect the Stars. I gotta play more of that, man. That game is a lot of fun. Also, hi cow. But Monsters Inc. is so cool. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not excited for Monsters Inc. I'm saying why did they have to get rid of the Muppets? That's where I'm at. I'm still in denial about it. Right? Oh yeah, this I can hit with that. There you go. Look at that. Because the Muppets are less, this is gonna hurt you, but kids these days know the Monsters Inc. movies more than the Muppets. I disagree. The last Monsters Inc. movie that came out was like 13 years ago, dude. Like literally half of my life ago. I know there was like the Monsters at Work series on Disney Plus, but like they've made Muppets content more recently than they've made Monsters Inc. content. No way that fucking Monsters University is that old. Yeah, dude, 2013. I remember it because I went to go see it when it came out. I'm just really good at remembering years for movies. I don't know why. It's probably the autism. But yeah, no, Monsters University came out 13 years ago. Um, the original came out in 2002. Like, it's 2001 or 2002. I know it was, they had to change one of the animations because of 9/11, but like, so it came out around that time. I remember that much. Monsters Unity is a movie I rewatch from time to time. Actually, amazing film. I remember being kind of down on it. I also have not seen it in a long time, so I'd have to rewatch it if I wanted to say anything definitive. I think I was like at the point where I was like, why are we making this movie though? Is kind of where I was at the time. So I think I was not being very charitable towards it. So I'll need to give it another shot. Wasn't Stitch changed nearly the entire end half of the movie because 9/11? Yes, yes, because the original idea was for them to be in a fucking jet engine plane, like a Boeing 747, basically. Um, flying over Hawaii, like doing that kind of thing. And then 9/11 happened, and then they were like, well, we're gonna change the plane into a spaceship so it's less, um, you know, it's got less bad vibes to it. God, my English is rough. Nah, you're good. You're fine. I know what you're trying to say. But yeah, no, there's the bit in Monsters Inc. the original where like they they had just left the sushi restaurant, right? And the CDA comes in and they're like, we gotta decontaminize, the place. And so the original idea was that they were just gonna explode the restaurant, but then of course 9/11 happens, and then they're like, nah, instead we're gonna put up a big energy shield. And I gotta tell you, man, I think it's been long enough. I think the joke would have been funnier if they had kept it as an explosion. I also understand, like, at the time it would not have been very funny. But like I feel like it's been long enough. We need the explosion cut of Monsters Inc. Back in a bit, boss. I got to lurk. Hey, no problem. Take your time. I'm gonna be in here power washing this fucking bathroom. This is one of those ones I think that's really, really satisfying. Oh, come on, there we go. Hooray! Oh, yeah, this one's really, really satisfying. Look at this. What? I'll be fully honest. There was like a part of me tonight that was like, do I want to do power wash, or do I want to do like more latent? Do I want to try testing out some new stuff? And I think the only thing that kept me from wanting to do latent tonight was like, a I'm fucking dead tired. Like I'm fully brain dead. I'm like I need a chill game where I don't have to think. Um, but the other thing is I don't have the like all of the assets done yet for what I want to do with visual stuff for streaming DS games yet. I'm working on it. I really am working on it. But like doing a layout for DS games is tough to do in a way that looks good on stream, because it's either I have the screens right on top of each other and have like a lot of negative space, or I have them like diagonally next to each other and like I don't know, it's I still have like a lot of weird negative space and it just kind of looks weird. So I'm trying to figure all of that out right now. But I'm thinking once I'm done for tonight playing Power Wash, I'll probably pull up what I have so far so you guys can see what I'm working on. Cause yeah, I have been working on it quite a bit. And I'm really, really excited to like finally get into being able to play DS and 3DS games on stream. I still need to work on like layouts and assets and stuff, but like we're getting close. We're getting closer. Here we go. Ah, that's what I'm missing. Oh, here we go. The only downside to doing PowerWash sim streams is like I don't, because I'm not like doing a story or anything, or I mean like there is a story to this game, but like I don't really have much to say. I'm mostly just vibing at this point. Which I feel like, I don't know. I always worry that it's not like super engaging when it's like, I'm being quiet or anything like that. I do worry about that. There we go. Because I want to be sort of entertaining, I suppose, is the word for it. There's a lot of times where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I'm just gonna play the video game. I think part of my problem is I like having conversations. So I really like it when I have like friends in here and like I'm able to like bounce back and forth off other people. I feel like that's kind of where I thrive as a streamer. So when I just have like other people to bounce off of. I don't know. I always feel like I've been that way, just like in general, where I tend to do better at like this kind of thing when I'm not by myself. I don't know. I always get a little nervous, I guess. Performance anxiety, I suppose. Yes, I'm absolutely aware that that is not at all what that phrase means, but it's funny to say, so I'm going to say it. All right, come on. Here we go. There's so much of this that I gotta clean. Oh. There we go. And gotta get under here to get the rest of that crud off. Oh, come on. What am I missing? I guess this is part of it too over here. That makes sense, actually, yeah. There we go. There we go. Cool. All right, we got the wall done now. That part done. The light over here. We got the light over here. There we go. Wire down, and then we're going to get the ceiling panel here in a second. What? Look at that. Okay, we got that wall done. I'm going to get this archway down. I'm going to get both sides of this archway down real quick. There we go. And then what I'm going to do here, is get that right there, and then we're just going to focus on like this little section back here where I got to get the roof and the two stalls here, and then this will be this whole like area done. That'll work. Perfect. Now, I'm not even going to question why we're in the world's fucking dirtiest bathroom. I don't even want to know what half of this shit that I'm cleaning off is. It probably is shit if I had to take a shot in the dark. But then, what I want to know is, how the fuck did it get on the ceiling here? Actually, that's not what I want to know. I don't want to know that. I really don't. I think I'd be okay with not finding that out, actually. There we go. The fact that I can reach all of that all the way from over here, it's crazy. There we go, that's that done. That's that done. Perfect. There we go. Okay, here we go. Cool, we got the door frame done. Ah, there we go. I was gonna say, I know I'm missing something, but... Okay, floor is done. The wall next, right here. I think, yeah, I could probably do the green one for most of this. Might save me a little bit of time. What fucking part of this am I missing? Okay, that was it, I guess. Alright. Here we go. There we go. That's that wall done. There we are. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of the toilet here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. What fucking part of this pipe am I missing? I can't even lower the toilet lid. This sucks. It's not even showing up when I hit the tab button. Okay, yeah, sure. There we go. And then we'll get the back of the light here. Fantastic. Light conduit, we'll get that too. There we go. That's the stall done. I think there's your before, there's your after. It's crazy how much brighter the level looks, like, once you actually get rid of a lot of the dirt. Like, that's wild, you know? Something something color theory, I guess. I don't exactly know how any of that works, but like they look really really dingy and really dark at the start before you actually get rid of everything, and then you start getting rid of all the dirt, and it's like, oh, the level actually like brightens up and everything. I guess it does add to the like whole like satisfaction of it. Where it's like, oh, you did a good job. You made the place light up. Oh, oh dear. There we go. It's gotta happen once a stream as my game starts freaking out for no reason. Hey, we got the pipe on that one. Now we just can't figure out the wall. There it is. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Got the toilet down. Perfect. Hmm. What's that last little bit of dirt hiding? There it is. Perfect. All right, look at that. That's half done. I gotta do all of that one more time, baby. One more time. Yeah. There's your before. There's your after. All right. That's fine. We got this. I'm gonna focus on the ceiling real quick. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna that, and then we're gonna come back around here. We're gonna get the back side of the frame. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Just gonna do this, and then we're going to do this again, right? So we're going to go pretty loosey-goosey on our first pass through, right? Like that. Because then we can come back here. This side, there we go. Perfect. Look at that, it's already starting to look brighter. There we go. Okay, I got the steel girder down. Perfect. That's that down. Come on. There it is. Okay. All right. And Sari's saying we're on an ad break, so... Oh, dear. If you thought I was gonna be quiet before... Nah, it's alright. I'm probably still gonna be, like, you know, talking every now and then. Because here's the thing, right? Is, like, I might be on ad break now, live, as I'm doing this, but the VOD's gonna be up later for everyone to watch. At some point. Once I actually bother to get it uploaded and everything. There we go. Perfect. Alright, here we go. We're gonna get the roof here done. There we go, and we'll get the light as well. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna come over here and grab this wall too. There we go. Perfect. Now I want to get the ceiling over here. All right. Sari says we're back from ads. Hello. It's been kind of nice, I'm not going to lie, to just kind of lock into getting this one done. There we go. All right, ceiling done. And then we'll get the wall here. I want to know who did the graffiti. Like, I genuinely want to know who did, like, the art for the graffiti in this game. Because, like, it's a lot. Just a lot of graffiti. Is that done? Here we go. Come on. Okay, so it has to be in the bowl here. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be in the bowl here because it's not. All right. Get the wall over here now. Hell yeah. Then we'll get the floor. Perfect. Look at that. And that leaves us with 69% done. So we're well on our way. You could even say that it's nice. All right. Let's go ahead and get the urinals. Perfect. There we go. What? Perfect. Here we go. Wizard. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. I knew I was missing something. Perfect. There we go. Can probably hit this with the green one and then save a little bit of time that way. There we go. Okay. What? I'm back and I've come to the conclusion the reason I'm horrified of talking to women is because I've just fumbled a conversation with myself in the mirror brushing my teeth. We'll also take the hydrate. All right, here we go. The secret to talking to women is don't think about it too hard. I mean, don't be a creep for one thing, but also, like, don't think about it too hard. Yeah, I felt it was about time that you consumed beverage. I appreciate. Okay. Not the fucking gnome again. Get out of here. Okay. Here we go. There we go. We're at 80% done now with this one. Decided I will get a goth girl in my life one way or another. That is my goal. Not money, not some grandeur goal, just a goth girlfriend. Hey, best of luck to you on that, man. You know, I really hope you get it and you don't live to regret it. I hope you're happy in the end. You know, here's the thing is I managed to get a girlfriend that we're really happy together. She's just she's just the best. She's an artist, which I love that about her. She's very good at her art, even if she does not think she is. She's really, really good at it, and I think she should continue to do that. Um, and if she's watching this, I want to see more art. But yeah, no, I listen. If I can manage to get the girl of my dreams, then there's hope for everyone. That's all I'm saying. The girlfriend glazing is unnecessary. Well, listen, it may be unnecessary to you. I'm gonna continue to glaze her because I think you know, she's great, and she's, I don't know. I like her a lot. But my point in saying all of this is that if there's hope for me, there's hope for you. Because I can tell you from personal experience, man, I was not sure that I was ever going to get back into the dating scene properly. There was a minute there where I was not convinced. And then on a whim, it's like, wouldn't it be funny if I opened up the dating apps right now and see who's near me? Yeah, but you work at Disney and I build lasers. I'm not cooler than you. Are you kidding? I build fake lasers for a living. You build real lasers. That's really fucking cool, dude. I don't know. I think it's cool. I build pretend make-believe laser swords. You make actual real lasers. All you gotta do is have a little bit of confidence in yourself. That's really what it boils down to, is have a little bit of confidence in yourself. And, like, I know that's fucking wild coming from me, person who very famously does not have a lot of confidence in herself, but, like, you gotta have a little bit of confidence, man. Put your best foot forward, that kind of thing. I make genuine, honest-to-goodness laser swords. During the pre-stages for when we put all the cases on, the modules look like little USB sticks and they produce this big blue laser. See, this is what I'm saying, is I build fake laser swords from a sci-fi movie that came out 50 years ago. You build real lasers! That's cool as fuck, dude! Maybe I am John Cool. I should put that in my Tinder profile. Oh, I don't know about that, but... I mean, you never know, it might work. John Cool. Middle name Awesome. Yeah, John Awesome Cool. That sounds like, uh, not gonna lie, John Awesome Cool sounds like a fucking Cartoon Network character from the early 2000s. If you told me that was like the development, like in development name for Johnny Test, I'd believe you. John Awesome Cool is a black American in an early 80s anime. Yeah, no, it's like, what's that one NES game that, like, you can tell the developers were Japanese because they made a bunch of, like, English sounding names, but none of them are, like, real names that anyone has. I don't remember what it was. I think it was, like, some sports game. It was, like, a baseball game or something like that, but it's a lot of the, like, American names in that game are really, really funny. I had a moment today. I was reading about Honda's racing team, and I went, "Oh yeah, Honda Onak," thinking that was just the name of the dude who made Honda. Yes, my friends, I actually was the founder of the noted Japanese car company, Honda. I named it after myself, of course, because as you know, I, Hondo Onaka, am the greatest car manufacturer in the galaxy. Oh, man. No, I love that Hondo Onaka lives rent-free in people's brains. My mind when I realized Hondo Onaka was not, in fact, the CEO of Honda Incorporated. No, I don't believe he would be. It'd be a little difficult for him to run logistics. Bro's in a galaxy far, far away. No, one of my coworkers recently introduced me to this group that does Star Wars themed sea shanties. And one of them is about Hondo, and it's really, really funny because it's all like made up bullshit. So it's like, um, he bought a ranch on Dathomir. Say now, did he really? Where he rides rancors with no fear, and all of that's a lie. Like, um, he ruled the Gungans on Naboo. Say now, did he really? Said Misa now to boss of you, and all of that's a lie. Hondo Onaka, Hondo Onaka, Hondo Onaka, all of that's a lie. My favorite verse of it is like really late into the song where they're like, he flew the Falcon on Batu, say now did he really? And Taurus made up all his crew, and all of that is true. Hondo Onaka. It's like the one time they say anything that's actually right about him, and it's a reference to the fucking ride at Disney World. I don't know. It's just really silly to me. Star Wars themed sea shanties are what I needed in my life. I didn't know it, but I do now. Yeah. So the guy that does it or like that wrote the songs is called Rowan the Bard. He's on YouTube. Um, and he like made a whole ton of them. He did one that I really like called Heidi and Way. He did one called Sing a Song of Obi-Wan. Um, one of my favorites that he did is Ghosts of Alderaan. That one's just really pretty, like a very haunting kind of song. Um, but there was this group that I guess he was a part of called oh what was the name of their group? I don't remember offhand. Um, I'd have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick. The Wretched Hive. That's what they're called. Okay, yeah. They're not on YouTube, but they are on like Spotify and Apple Music and like those kinds of places. And they've done full like covers of some of these songs. Cause like yeah, it's neat to hear them when it's like a guy doing it, but like when you got a full group of people all doing these songs is really, really cool. Um but yeah, they're really neat. If you like Star Wars or sea shanties or both, I recommend them. Trooper's Lament is a really good one. I get that one stuck in my head all the time. First thing that pops up when I search Star Wars sea shanties is some AI slop. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't wait for this whole AI thing to fucking go away, dude. Like, I know there are some people that are saying, "Oh, it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away." No, fuck you, dude. Like, this is just NFTs all over again, which is just crypto all over again. Like, it's not gonna stick. It's not gonna stick because there's not really a good use case for it for like the general population. You know, how do I tell you this? Tell me what. I don't think it's okay. This is the thing is I don't think these things are going to go away entirely, but it is a bubble. It is an economic bubble. It's gonna burst. It is already starting to burst. There's more money in AI right now than there was in NASA when we got to the moon. Yeah, that may be true, but like, it's not gonna last, right? Like, fuck, Sora's already shutting down, because they're losing billions of dollars just running the damn thing. They're losing more money than they're getting in, and like it's not a sustainable business model. Like even if AI was like a really good tool, which it's not, like it's the value proposition is just dog shit. Like even if it was a good tool though, like the economics of it are very, very unsustainable. These companies are losing billions and billions of dollars. It is not going anywhere once the data centers are done. My company is projected to go from 2 billion to 300 billion. Yeah, but like it may be projected to do that. Is it really going to do that though? Like everything that I'm seeing is like no, these are not going to last. Like NFTs were projected to be like a big deal. They lasted maybe a year. Wait, which one did I miss? Ah, that one there. Plus, I think the other thing is there's just so much backlash against it. Like basically anytime a company's like, "Oh, we're gonna invest in AI," people are like, "No, actually, I'm good. I don't have to use your product after all." It's like I've swapped web browsers that I use multiple times. Because I was using Opera for a little bit, and then they started to push AI, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna switch to Firefox," and then they started pushing AI, so now I'm on a completely different one. That's the scary part because we went from a low industry operation to $1 billion buyout from one of the biggest telecom companies in the world. If Nokia, one of the biggest sinking ships in the world, is willing to throw down almost untouchable amounts of money, then it's solidified. I don't think it's going to last, though. Hmm. And the reason I think that is because I think tech CEOs are seeing it as sort of like um, they're seeing it as the next big thing, right? That's the thing that tech CEOs always do is they always look for the next big thing. And there hasn't really been a next big thing since the iPhone came out. That was 20 years ago, like almost 20 years ago since the iPhone came out. We've been living in a smartphone world for the last 20 years. Ever since then, most technological advances, at least as far as consumer electronics go, have been focused pretty heavily on smartphones. Everything's an app now. Everything's on the computer. Everything's a website or an app, right? And so, really, the only consumer electronics that have come out since then are like smartwatches, like, other smart devices, so to speak. Um, like smart speakers as well, like Alexa and that kind of thing. Um, but those are just things that interface with smartphones, right? Um, AI and generative AI, to be specific, has been touted by these big tech companies as like, oh, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be like this next great revolution in technology. What it really does is it takes away jobs because other CEOs from other companies that aren't necessarily tech companies, they see this technology and they're going to be like, oh, well, I can use this to like lower my workforce, you know, so I don't have to spend as much money paying people to do their jobs. But the products are not designed in a way that is compatible with that. Yeah, what I mean by that is like the AIs themselves are just not that good. Like they hallucinate. Like literally ChatGPT and other things like that, they do what is called hallucinating, which is basically they just make shit up, right? And a lot of them are programmed in a way to be extremely agreeable. Um, there have been cases of AI convincing people to commit unthinkable acts, both against themselves and others. You know, there's been stories of like, there was one guy who tried to use ChatGPT as like to basically write a what's the word for it? Like a deposition, like in a court of law, you know, and it fully backfired because it was like drawing from sources that didn't exist, you know. And I think as AI continues to train on data, a lot of the data that it's going to train on is AI generated, which means this situation is only going to get worse. On top of that, the data centers use so much electricity and water that it basically fucks over whatever community they build the data centers in. Because now the people there are living in more polluted environments. On top of that, they're also paying more in electricity and water bills that they're not even using because it's, you know, they are basically subsidizing the data centers. Um, it's gotten to the point now where people are fully protesting anytime a data center gets built or gets proposed to be built in a community. People are going out and protesting it. And there have been some successful protests where they've decided, no, we're actually not going to build here because like there is literally less than zero demand. So AI's got a lot of drawbacks and it's not a sustainable business. It just really isn't. And I think a lot of tech CEOs they don't see that. Yeah. The difference between AI and NFTs is that NFT had no physical product. The physical production of MFG based operations in the US, not including Huawei and Europe, um, have quadrupled. We have more physical parts right now in the product of micron sized fiber optic splicing. AI is fucking stupid. It is a dumb system. AI are extremely dumb, uncooperative, unable to actually operate. And unless, now this is very specific insider information, but we do not use AI. So yeah, no, I agree with you. AI is dumb and stupid. And also, like, it's just made everything worse. It's just made everything so much worse. I don't know if you've seen the recent news. Um, Sony is increasing their prices on the PlayStation 5. And Nintendo is doing the same thing with the Nintendo Switch too. And a lot of companies are doing that with their consumer electronics. It's not just the big video game manufacturers, but like for me, that's kind of my area of expertise. So this is why, you know, where I see it the most is consoles are getting more expensive. You know, back in the day, it's like as a console got older, it would get less expensive over time to try to, you know, boost sales a little bit. But like, I don't know. It's the RAM shortage has affected us to the point where things are getting more expensive instead of getting less expensive, which I think is just really fucking stupid. Also, we don't need to fuck over the environment more than we already have. This is the other thing that I believe is that we just need to stop. We just need to stop building these things. Did you hear about the guy who tried to use AI as a PR hub and the AI gave someone a 99% discount on all products? Yes, I have heard of that, and it was extremely funny. I'm never not going to laugh at someone being like AI is the future and then getting completely fucked over by AI unless it's a tragedy. unless it's a tragedy, in which case I will not laugh at it because it's like, okay, yeah, something terrible happened. But in something like that, it's like, dude, that was your own fault. He lost that case, by the way, completely sank. Yeah, I'm saying. All right, I'm gonna go and do one of the vehicles real quick because I think it's fun, and then we'll probably call it from there. I'm just gonna do this one because I don't feel like doing the Helter Skelter right now. So I'll do this last little thing right here in PowerWash, and then I'm going to show off a thing real quick that I am not fully done yet with, but I am going to show it off. Uh, Stuff for future streams, and then I'll call it from there. I'll go see if we can raid someone. I think Yo-Yo's live, so we might go raid her. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, AI bad. We need to stop. Just in general, we need to stop. On the topic of AI being stupid, we had an AI run a one-to-one code debug on our inside system, like our physical software. The AI scanned the entire system and failed to identify any problems with the code we wrote to be bad. That's crazy, dog. It's almost like it's a bad product. I mean, truly, if like the AI can't tell anything wrong with purposefully bad code, then like people should not be trusting anything with it. I'll be honest. I did like when like ChatGPT was like first becoming a big name. I did kind of fuck around with it a little bit before I have to clarify before I learned about all of the environmental impacts and all of that. I was just like, I want to see what all the hype is about. I'm gonna take a look at it. And I gotta be honest, I was kind of underwhelmed. Like even from the outset, I was a little underwhelmed with it. I was like, okay, this is a cool toy, I guess, but like whatever. And then I learned about all the environmental impacts and like the need to build data centers and the fact that it's funded by like the worst people. Um, then I was like, okay, no, I'm fully against this. We made it ourselves. That's the difference. We didn't use an open AI source. We used something handmade. That's how bad AI is. An AI we made to solve problems can't do it. Yeah, no, if you're building a program that is made to solve problems and it can't solve problems, I don't know, man. It seems like it's a bad product. I miss when I would talk about AI and it would be purely science fiction. Like HAL 9000 or GLaDOS or like, you know, anything like that. Turns out all of our AI ended up being like Wheatley. Completely fucking moronic. And even that is kind of an insult to Wheatley. I personally use AI for all kinds of things, though. Like AI chatbots are super fun for making D&D characters for campaigns and using that dialogue as like a baseline for how to act as a player. See, and I simply don't do that. If I'm doing that, I'm just gonna make it up whole cloth. Because I think for me, that's part of the fun of D&D is like improvising, like as a character. I don't know. Cool. All right. I'm gonna call it from there as far as PowerWash Sim goes. But before we move on, I want to show off a couple of things. But the thing about AI is that it was originally made as a tool to help people. I don't know. We lost the plot. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's because the tech billionaires saw it and were like, well, we're gonna put this in everything because it is the future. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I hate tech people as a tech person. We suck. At least you're willing to admit it. At least you are willing to admit it. Okay, so what I am doing right now is I am about to load up a very specific piece of software. We're gonna see if this works. Hopefully it does. Because I'm really excited. I really want to show this off. I want to make sure that everything is working so far because I made some new assets for when I'm streaming DS games. And I'm just loading up a game right now to kind of like use as like test footage, so to speak. Make sure you close PowerWash first, LOL. No, I will. I will. It's on a different screen than this one. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Okay. The problem with this particular software is it's a little buggy, so I might have to open it up a couple of times. No, Siri, don't go to ads while I'm trying to do this. Come on now. Hmm. Come on, come on, come on, please work. When is your Odin coming? It's already here. That's that's actually what I'm trying to show off right now, but my computer is not cooperating at the moment. We're gonna try to get this to work. You know what? I will actually close out of PowerWash to see if that helps. Okay, perfect. Oh, maybe. Oh, well, maybe. Heyo. I was about to say maybe having both running it once was adding system lag. I mean, that might have been it, but uh, please. There we go. Look at that. Like I said, I don't have everything fully set up the way I want it to be, but I am working on that. So this is how it's looking so far. There we go. This is just my own little playthrough of Pokemon Platinum. Um, but yeah, uh, I wanna get some input on this because I'm thinking I'm liking this layout so far. For DS games. Let's see if I get into a Pokemon battle so that you can see the bottom screen also works. I promise it's not just a Pokeball. There we go. Oh, and also I think I need to turn up the volume. Maybe is that how that works? I don't actually know. Why is it not? Why is the sound not coming out? Hmm. I'll have to figure that out at some point. But yeah, so this is how it's looking so far. And I want to be able to get some good love that you see both screens. It'd be cool if you change the physical background, like the pink Windows drop screen to be themed. Uh oh, like the actual background, like this image right here. the one that just flashed. I could probably figure something like that out. Yeah, that one. I could probably figure something like that out. My main concern was just being able to have both screens visible. Um, so this is how it's looking so far. I'm also probably going to try to see if I can get it to be a little bit sharper too, because like I know it's a little bit blurry, like not super blurry. It's still legible and everything, but I want it to be sharp. Um, but I'm hoping this layout looks fine. I wanted both screens to be fully visible was my main concern. I did also have Professor Layton here helping me out in the background, just trying to fill negative space. That's my other main concern is just negative space. Because I've got like the big kind of blocks here where there's like nothing going on. Of course, down here at the bottom, that's usually where I put my friends. So, like if I'm doing like a collab or anything like that. So, that I'm not too concerned about. It's the one in the corner over here, like on the opposite end from where chat is. That's my big concern. So, but I'm hoping that this looks good. My other concern, and I can change this around too, is my other concern is sometimes there are games that are very bottom screen heavy and not like top screen heavy. So that's the other thing. Anyway, that's what I wanted to show off. Um, is just how that looks. So that works out, and I think we're gonna go ahead and call it from there. Do you have the base or the pro? I have the pro. Um, because I wanted it to because I may get the pro. Yeah, it's a great little device. Here, what I'll do is I'll do this. So I'm gonna lock those real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of this, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna undo the crop on it so you can see the whole thing. Um, you have the DS styled one, right? Yeah, the Thor. I'm using a bit of software right now that like displays the image on screen so you can see it. So this is what I've got so far. This I've got it set up like Windows XP because that is basically my brand at this point. But yeah, so I've got it so you can see a bunch of different folders and everything. Here, I'll even like reverse the thing so you can see what it looks like. The only one that it doesn't seem to want to do the fancy one for is the Super Nintendo stuff. Um, but yeah, no, it's a really neat thing. So I can also do like 3DS games on here too, which I need to figure that out as well, how that's going to end up looking. Oh, now it wants to do the sound. This is sick. I love what you've done with it. Now play Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Hey, listen. Don't fucking tempt me, all right? Hang on. Where is it? Is Aria of Sorrow was a Game Boy Advance one, right? Yeah, there it is. So I still need to work on some kinks with it, but like yeah. Um anyway, um that's how it's looking so far. Fuck yeah, dude, you have to stream this game. I to see your reaction to it. You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe in October. I got a couple other things that I wanna do in October, but for sure. All right, so there's that. I'm gonna fix that, and then I'm gonna pull all of this back up. There you go. 50 gifted subs per game. I convince you to play. All right, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow is on the list. I do have a couple of games on here that I actually do have to play from Melody's incentives. Those in particular being The Daring Game for Girls. And where is it? It's on here somewhere. Over the Hedge as well. So those ones I will be playing on stream at some point. I did of course also get the perennial classic Cory in the House. Um, Aria of Sorrow, then Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation. So funny you should mention that actually. It is. It's on here. Along with the hit game Muppet Race Mania. You can really tell my taste in video games by looking at this. Um, well, a turnip of culture. Hell yeah, dude. Listen, I told you I wasn't kidding when I said I had Tony Hawk's Underground 2 on here, all right? And of course, Code Lyoko Quest for Infinity and Parappa the Rapper 2 and Star Wars Battlefront and Rayman Arena. Tony Hawk's Below Earth Skateboard Operator. Yeah, that one. Yeah, no, I was like I got to get a shit ton of games on here, dude. I have everyone's favorite video game, Spy Muppets License to Croak. Um this is a real video game. Dude, Mega Man is another game I got to try. Okay, yeah. So first of all, uh my favorite Mega Man game is Mega Man X4 on the PlayStation. This game is so good. This game is so good. It's goated. I love Mega Man X4. It's a really, really good game. So I'd recommend that one. If you're gonna play Metroid, then oh god, where is it? Super Metroid. There it is. That one's really, really good. Metroid Prime and Mega Man X4. Metroid Prime is also very good. Yes, I do recommend Metroid Prime. But like if you're gonna get the 2D games, Super Metroid, and then on Game Boy Advance, you've also got where is it? Metroid Zero Mission, which is a remake of Metroid 1, Metroid Fusion, which is Metroid 4, and then on the 3DS, you also have a remake of Metroid 2, which is called Metroid Samus Returns. So that's what I would recommend is Zero Mission, Samus Returns, Super, Fusion, Dread. That's the order you should play the Metroid like 2D games in, and then Metroid Prime, of course. You know Evil Kermit? Of course I know Evil Kermit. It's his name is Constantine. He's from Muppets Most Wanted. Let's see. This is another game that I'm really excited to actually finally try is Kid Icarus Uprising. I should be an evil Kermit, but like the turnip version. I'll be evil turnip where everything is colors warped and inverted and I'm the VTuber and I stream weird niche games. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, join me. Join me in streaming weird niche games. Join me in streaming Tron Evolution Battle Grids for the Nintendo Wii and uh Hannah Montana for the DS. And Lionel Trains on Track, which I got off the request of one Pixel Drew because I was like asking everyone in our group Discord, like, "Hey guys, you should recommend me a DS game so I can have stuff to play." And Drew was like, "You should get the Lionel Train game if you hate yourself." Are there weird any co-op games? Any weird co-op games we can do this for? Probably. There are probably a few of them. I don't know. I'm sure there are. Oh, Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. I should play that one on stream. It's a Sonic RPG. Pokemon Ranger, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I've never played the Pokemon Ranger games, but my friends were like, you should play those ones. So, um, this is also a game that I want to play on stream at some point. The Wizard of Oz Beyond the Yellow Brick Road. It looks really, really cool. And it has a really unique art style. You will hate Pokemon Ranger. It has mechanics. Oh no, my least favorite. Anyway, I think that is where we're going to call it, is just me showing all of this off. There you go. Play Barbie and the Three Musketeers. All right. Um, yeah, let's see who else is live right now. You know what? Our good friend Minty Mikusu is live. I guess Yo-Yo's not live anymore, but that's fine. We'll go raid Minty instead, because I haven't raided her in a minute. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and go to the log off screen. We'll go whoop, ba, ba, boom, boom. I'm going to go ahead and get that raid ready to go. It looks like she's playing Story of Seasons, aka Harvest Moon, but for real. There's a long story to that one. But yeah. How do I spell her name? I always forget. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and read Minty. There we go. Perfect. Here is the raid message. And yeah. I guess we'll catch you guys next time. Hope you guys have a good night, and hope you guys have fun over at Minty's while she plays Story of Seasons. Remember that the vibes over there are going to be a little bit different than they are over here, so just please respect that. And other than that, yeah, have a good night. We'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.